Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is coming review for Big Brother 16, episode 14, and this was the best episode of the season. I thought this episode was perfect, in my opinion. I had no issues with this episode. I thought this episode was very, very well done, especially one certain part that really brought me to tears. Two parts almost brought me to tears, actually, in this episode. I thought this episode was definitely very, very good, and I'm really actually looking forward to, the next HOH this week. I'm looking forward to it, so let's just get to it. Basically, in the beginning, Cody feels terrible that he put up Donnie as the replacement nominee. And of course, Donnie is very worried also because there's been times when the pawn has gone home instead of, the pawn has gone home instead of the person that was, supposed to. An example of this was Judd last year on Big Brother 15. He did not know he was going to go home. He thought it was a pawn. He turned out not to be a pawn. Things like that. Donnie definitely does have a point there. But Cody tells him, look, you're safe, you have nothing to worry about, and you're safe. Brittany, in the meantime, is also trying to get the votes to stay, but obviously we know that she's not going to stay. Even after, but honestly, Brittany, you've done what you need to do. You wanted to prove to the house that you can really play a good game. You did that. You did what you needed to do in the game. So why are you worrying? That's the thing, Brittany. Why are you so, worried about that? I mean, you did what you wanted to do, so why isn't it an issue for you? I honestly don't understand that, and I was, I'm fine with Brittany leaving, honestly. I didn't care that Brittany left, really. I really didn't. But yeah, then what ends up happening is basically... Sorry, my Skype thing is going on. Okay. Ignore the Skype. Okay. Basically what then ends up happening is that we see a very sad news from Frankie. Frankie is called into the DR, and what ends up happening is he then gets the news that his grandfather died, and it's just it's so sad because, and by the way, back to before that though, Cody, honestly, I respect Cody as a player. I'm not mad at Cody. I think Cody did the right thing. The person that really told him to do this was Frankie. Frankie is the person we should be upset at right now, because Frankie was the one who said, backdoor, put up Donnie and everything. Donnie, is just a pawn and everything, and he said put up Donnie because, he's a strong player, and everyone loves Donnie, so I do understand that. They really wanted to get out Brittany, and they wanted to make sure Brittany went home, because, if Brittany went home, then what they would do then is that, Brittany would, no one would be upset if Brittany went home, because nobody really cares right now about that. And, but back to Frankie. Unfortunately, Frankie's called into the diary room, and he gets probably the worst news you could get if you are in the Big Brother house. Now, think about this. You're in the Big Brother house, you are already very stressed because... you're very stressed because you know that, you have to think about, who to put up, who to evict, things like that. He has so much to worry about, and he's called into the DR, and he finds out that his grandpa died, and, it's just so sad because we actually find out that his grandfather was the first person he actually came out to and accepted it, and that's just, that's so heartbreaking for him. I mean, me personally, I don't think Frankie's the best player on the show, but I really felt sympathy for him, definitely, because it's just that is literally the worst news you could get in the Big Brother house. I mean, really it is. It's the worst news you could get if you were in that house right now. If I was in that house and, a family member died, that would probably be the worst news I could get, definitely. That would be the worst news I could get, and I feel really bad for Frankie because of that. I definitely do feel bad for Frankie, and, yeah, definitely, as I said, that would probably be the worst news that I could get. I definitely, felt bad for Frankie because of that. And, yeah, and I'm glad the whole house was there for him. They were all there for him. And, he's talking about how he, his grandfather didn't even know he was on Big Brother and everything. But it's really sad that this happened to him, and... thoughts and prayers are with Frankie and everything. Deepest condolences to Frankie, to the Grande family. Just like I said in the last video, deepest condolences to the Grande family. It's so sad that this has to happen, and yeah, that definitely is very sad and very tough, too, especially when you're in the Big Brother house. You really want to see, your family and everything when someone died, and obviously Frankie can't because he's in the Big Brother house. But, in the letter it says... In the letter, it said, he couldn't even read the letter, Brittany had to, read it for him, because he just couldn't read it, it was too upsetting, it was too upsetting for him, and Brittany had to read it to him, but, definitely that was the worst news you could get, and just, Frankie was a real trooper about those, so that was great. So then Julie reveals to them, that the news that there are going to be have-nots this week, and they have been chosen by, the activity trackers, and the 4 have-nots this week are Nicole, Caleb, Christine, and Derek. Nicole, why does Nicole keep getting everything bad? Like, seriously. First she has to wear a frog suit, then she has to wear a German tard, and now she, is a have-not. It's just like, Nicole keeps getting shit on, seriously. Caleb kinda deserves it. I really don't give a shit that Caleb got it. Christine, as far as Christine's concerned, fine. And Derek, fine. Derek's been, a big part of the house, so yeah, that's fine that he got it. But yeah, they're gonna be have-nots and everything, and so yeah, that happens. And then we find out some really good news, which is, of course, we find out that, you know how close Nicole and Hayden have been getting? We actually meet Nicole's family, and, probably the most awkward moment there was when Nicole's, like, cousin or whatever knew what sex was, and she was, like, 6. I'm like, what the fuck? This is what our world has come to. 6-year-olds know what sex is. You've done a good job. You've done a fantastic job raising your children, teaching them that sex at 6 years old. Yeah, a bunch of 6-year-olds are just gonna go off and have sex. Fantastic. Anyway, though, Nicole and Hayden, they are officially together, and that's fantastic because I really wanted them to be together since day one. Since we've seen the chemistry between them, I've really wanted them, out of all the showmances this year, they've been my number one, and I'm so happy they're finally together, so that's fantastic that they're together. So then, of course, it's time for the live eviction, and, of course, everyone ends up voting out Brittany, which I was not surprised at all, Brittany, honestly, the thing with Brittany is that she might be a nice girl and everything, but I think the pressure just got to her in the game, the stress got to her and everything, and honestly, it's a good thing for her. And her interview was probably one of the most heartbreaking interviews we've ever seen on this show, because she was actually reunited with her kids on TV. It was very sad to watch, she said she missed her kids and everything, and you just feel so happy for her, because it's like, she's back to being a mother, she's back for her kids. But here's the thing, Brittany, I don't feel sympathy for you because you decided to be on the show away from your kids. So, I have no sympathy for you because of that. I don't. That was a little weird. But I do agree with Brittany said that the whole house, is kind of scared. That the girls are kind of scared of the guys right now because the guys are controlling the house. I do understand what Brittany is saying there. That I understood, and I agree with that. The girls are kind of scared right now. I do agree with that, definitely. I do agree. So yeah, I definitely do agree with that. And then we get to probably one of my most favorite HOH competitions of all time. They did this last year. They did it again this year. And honestly, I love this competition because you guys know I love music. If you guys remember last year, they did that competition where it was like Broadway show tunes. And they had to, and in the form of competitions, they had to guess if it was, HOH, have not, or have not, or POV. Well, this year, of course, they did the same thing, only there was Battle of the Block, of course. And, I thought it was a really fun competition. I think I would have done pretty well in the competition. I, really enjoyed the competition, and I thought they definitely, I really enjoy the competition. I think it's one of the most fun competitions they've ever done on the show. For me personally, my personal favorite competition they do. Next to Zingbot, of course. Zingbot's always fun to watch. But, lo and behold, Frankie ends up winning the first HOH, and honestly, that's great. Derek did the sweetest thing, honestly. Derek decided that he would, sacrifice winning HOH for Frankie. He threw the competition, basically. I couldn't think of the word. He threw the competition, for Frankie, and honestly, that was so sweet of him, because I would have done the same thing. Even though I don't think Frankie's the greatest player, I don't think Frankie's the greatest player, in my opinion. He hasn't made the best strategic moves. He sometimes is a little backwards thinking when it comes to the game. I would have given him that HOH, because, as, basically, he lost his grandfather, and he wants to see his grandfather. He wants to see pictures of his grandfather. He was really close with his grandfather, because we know that Frankie cares so much about his family, because he said that he loves his family to death, and his family are everything to him. And, you know, just, it's so sweet that Derek did that for him. I mean, that was definitely a very sweet thing that Derek did for him. I thought that was definitely very, very sweet what he did. So, Frankie ended up winning the first HOH, and Zach ended up winning the second HOH. So Zanky won. Zanky won, and I think that's good that they won, because I trust both Zach and Frankie. Zach is hilarious, and, you know, he knows how to make good moves. Frankie, honestly, I don't think he's going to stay HOH for that long. I think Zach's going to stay HOH, because every time Frankie's HOH, he gets dethroned, and I think the same thing's going to happen this time. We'll have to see who they end up putting up and everything, but honestly, I'm more excited now for this week. I think I like who they picked as HOHs. I think they're good HOHs personally, and I do trust them. It's better than if Caleb would have won. I will say this. Caleb needs to go home this week. He's a have-not. He is on everybody's radar right now. All he cares about is Amber. That's all he cares about. He cares about Amber and Cody flirting. And he's just the perfect person to get out right now. I know you think that Caleb is a good strategic player and could help you. Yes, he is good at winning competitions. Yes, he is good at things like that. Yes, he won one HOH. That means nothing. A bunch of people win HOH once. It means nothing. It means nothing if you win HOH once. You win HOH multiple times, that's something to, you know, to think about. But if you win HOH once, who gives a shit? Seriously, you won HOH once, who gives a shit? That's my thinking there. You know, if you want to evict anyone next week, it needs to be Caleb, because Caleb needs to be evicted next week, or else you're not going to be able to evict him, after that. So I definitely think if you want to evict anyone this week, it needs to be Caleb. Caleb needs to be evicted this week, and that's what it is. You need to evict Caleb this week, in my opinion. I think you must evict Caleb, and that's just what you have to do. You have to evict Caleb this week, because if you don't, you know, it could be the only chance you get to evict Caleb. Personally, who do I think, Zach? I think if the best way to do it, though, is to backdoor Caleb. I think definitely they're going to put Amber up. Oh, also, Team America was revealed. And basically the one that was revealed was, basically they're going to play the role of Puppet Master and say that this person said something to the other person, and you get them to fight either at the POV ceremony or either at the POV ceremony or nomination ceremony. So I really hope they succeed in that. It is going to stir up trouble a little bit, even though I don't really like Team America. It is going to stir up trouble a little bit, and I think that is going to be interesting. As I said, though, I don't really like Team America. I just don't think Team America is a good thing. I think it kind of is just, it's not right, you know, to do to people's games, but this is going to be fun to watch. This is going to be fun to watch. This is not going to hurt anyone's game. It's going to put two people against each other, and it's going to be really fun to watch, honestly. I think it's definitely going to be really fun to watch, and definitely am looking forward to that. So, overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a very good episode. Brittany leaving, honestly, I think it was the right time for her to leave, because, you know, she really wanted to see her kids. She was so happy to see them. Probably one of the most touching moments in Big Brother history, was Frankie getting the news about his grandfather dying. I mean, I've never seen anything so sad on Big Brother in my life. I had tears in my eyes when that happened. I'm not ashamed to admit, I cried when I saw that. Hayden and Nicole getting together. I almost said Caden. Sorry. Hayden and Nicole getting together. That's great, because I've wanted them to get together since, you know, we first saw them. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I really have to say about this episode. Also, Zach and Frankie winning. Who are they going to put up for HOH? I mean, I really screwed that up. Frankie and Zach for HOH. Who are they going to put up as, you know, who are they going to put up for eviction? We'll have to see. I do think Caleb is the main target for this week. But, that's basically it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry, I really fucked that up. Oh my gosh. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Married. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.